So absolutely thrilled with the NearHub MA40 dual arm monitor stand. It's got butterfly brackets here that can go vertical or horizontal. We'll jump into all the details. I just wanted to show you this before we jump in. There's the back side here. Obviously, I haven't gotten all the cables in, but let's jump into the unboxing, how to put it together, some of the things I really like, some of the things that are just really well thought out as far as the install with this. So we've got the NearHub dual monitor arm. It's the MA40, and I'm gonna actually show you my desk because it's a mess. I want to be honest with you. That's why we're actually doing this. So currently right now I have a monitor, I have a small ring light, a big ring light, a podcast mic, a camera, and I'm gonna go to a dual arm, basically using the NearHub with both of my monitors to save not only desktop space, but just room in my kind of recording studio. So it is going to get a little bit messy. I am going to do it down here. I did the NearHub chair up in the office and it was a little bit cleaner, but I just wanted to show you a couple things before we jump in. So this is the box that it comes in, and you'll see that it has multiple modes. So it's got the classic kind of adapter here. You've got tilt, you've got swivel, you've got it will work with straight or curved screens, but then also you have this pivot up and down, so you can go vertical or horizontal with them. So most likely what I will do is I will set these up horizontal, and then I'll switch one and I'll show you what that looks like when they're that way. So if you're in accounting or you work a lot with spreadsheets, so you can do that. So let's jump in and kind of show you how to put this all together. I was really impressed with the NearHub chair and the instructions here, and it's very similar with this monitor desk mount. So you can see that it'll actually do up to two 35-inch screens, right? So here's your end piece right here. You've got the bracket and you've got some different attachments that'll actually go under the desk. So I think that's important to know before you install is, do you have a lip on your desk that you can actually install? So it's interesting because on the desk that I use, the sides actually have more space, about 3 inches, than the front and the back. The front and the back are only about a ½ an inch, and I'll show you when we get closer into that. So just walking through the instructions here, I want to make sure we get to the first step first. Oh, they're unfolded here. So you've got some smaller instructions as far as your bracket on the bottom, depending on what kind of table you have. And then you actually have, just screwing in the monitor. So it shouldn't take that long to put all of these in. And you can see that you also have a map of all of your pieces. So before I install anything, I always recommend pulling everything out. And if it's anything like the chair that we put together earlier, NearHub's going to give us extra parts or screws for everything. So I'm probably going to do this just on fast forward mode. Then I'll put it together and I'll show you some important things about the actual installation that I notice when I'm going through it. I'm going to have to clear out some space and different things like that, but I'll show you what that looks like. So all of our pieces are labeled. We've got our washers, brackets, screws, and it looks like all the screws, maybe they're not all the same size. I'm going to use a drill as opposed to a screwdriver. There's our other set here. It's actually 2 of those to go to the monitor. And you've got your individual arms. And we talked earlier about, maybe I didn't, but they've got a space right down here, if you can see, for cords, so that you can slide cords back and forth. And these actually snap on. So you heard that. So these actually snap on and they're good that way. So we'll pull all this out and I'll set it on the desk so you can see all of the individual pieces. Here's our bracket mount here. You got this rubber pad here because this is going to go on the top. This is thick. This is heavy duty. Here's the potential bottom bracket here. Here's the goes on the top of the desk. So this is what you're going to be looking at on top of your desk, like this, with the 2 arms going up. Comes with all the tools. And it looks like we're probably going to get some extra parts. So let's lay this all out on the table for you. able to see all that. Yep. So this is everything that comes in the box. So I'm gonna start doing some small things and probably actually just turn this around. You can watch me just put it all together and we'll fast forward it through that point. I just want to show you, this is what I was talking about earlier. We've got about 2 inches here and about a 1/4 inch if I come along this way. So I'm going to put it right here. There's a couple different ways that you can actually put that bracket. So if you don't have a base table, so if it's just flat like this, you can go in almost 4 or 5 inches. But because this one has a frame and this is just on top, what I need really is a rising table, and those would be amazing. But or a standing table. So I'm going to use this portion right here. What I had done previously is just put everything on the corner right here on a spinning thing. So I'm going to come back up so you can see me mount everything and what it looks like here. So I've mounted it right here on this corner. Now what we're going to do is build the rest of it. I probably need to tighten it just a couple more. And one arm is going to come out and kind of, I'm going to have it go this way and the other one's going to go here. So kind of like this. Ideally, I would like it on this back stand right here, but because of the way this desk is built, this bracket's not going to work again when I just showed you because it's only got a 1/2 inch. And because of the frame, I can't go around the frame. The frame's not thick enough either. If I just had a flat table or a standing table, this would be able to go anywhere around the whole thing. I may end up moving this to that side because so each bracket mount, once you screw this in, it has this little kind of drop tray right? And so this will be on the back of the monitor, and then you just drop this in, and then you have these little screws, you have 2 of them, that you can actually just tighten once you get it in here, like this, right? Then you can run the cables down or underneath. It depends on where your cables are. These are both kind of brackets. So you can see that I have here the mount that's already here, and this is just going to slide on. So I'm going to just pull this one off. I just wanted to show you before it was screwed in, because if you don't see it, it might not make a little bit of sense, but this bracket just slides on just like that. So you kind of have this butterfly bracket right here that I've got right here on this 32-inch there. And I'm probably actually going to put it on this guy over here. Okay, so I need to straighten them out in a minute, and I'm gonna get some stuff on the screens. You can see my fingerprints all over it, but the install, it's probably because the first time I did it, so let me jump into all the details. Let me clean up everything, and then I'll jump in and kind of show you what I liked, what I didn't like, and basically everything works. Okay, so I got the monitors all connected. So let's take a look at the actual brackets themselves. How you display these and whatever, that's fine. So I love the back side of this is you can actually just twist it and go from horizontal to vertical. Now, when we talked about the butterfly bracket right here, it's interesting because this monitor actually took 2 different size screws. You can see that at the video that you were paying attention to me. We have this locking piece right here that just kind of twists in with your hand, and then this whole bracket slides off, okay? Underneath here, we have the cable carriage that I have not put everything in yet because I don't know where I want to put this. You have your actual mounting here where you can tighten your arm. Stickers right here tell you exactly what to do. When you first put on your bracket and your monitor, this is probably going to just sink like this. But once you kind of tighten the tension a little bit, you can loosen that or tighten it. You also have one right here, which is for your tilt, and I'll show you that in just a second. Here's your second arm. You can see that the bracket right here that's on the table is really solid. You have a place right here for your cords that's there. We're coming up to our second monitor. This does the exact same thing. We can just turn it, and the whole mount turns this way. So I'm going to turn it back to vertical and just talk a little bit about the install, the pieces, what's left over from a kind of front-facing view. So I'll show you that in just a second. Okay, the install is super easy, and I've got to tell you, they have prepared you for everything if you're putting this install together. So I mentioned this through the video, but they actually give you 4 different size screws for the butterfly bracket on the back of your monitor. So depending on your monitor, the make, the model, whatever, the screws might need to be thicker, longer, shorter. And on one of the monitors I actually had to use 2 long ones and 2 short ones. So I think that's super important. The other thing that I didn't tell you because I didn't need it is they also have additional table mounts depending on your screw. So they have this extra screw right here that goes on the table mount, but they have kind of this straight one. So if you just have a little thin spot, and I actually might end up using this one to put it right in front of me, vertical from me or horizontal from me, just on that little tiny sliver of metal that I have on the table. So again, there's this piece. They had the big square one, which I showed you. And then you're gonna love this. I don't even want it. They have a corner piece. So you could actually just put this on the corner, depending on how your table is set up. And mine obviously won't. So I'm probably gonna switch to this bracket mount instead of that one. And when I talk about the bracket mount, it's the piece that goes on the bottom of the table to basically like create tension. So you would screw this in all the way up to the mount, and then just tighten this all the way down with the racket wrench like that. So there's that. I used a drill to get all of my screws started. I do not recommend using a drill to do your final drill. You want to use this guy or just a regular screwdriver. You could break the back of your monitor. You could crack your screen. And you don't want to do that. That's horrible, right? So this will take up to two 35-inch. So you could see, I showed you earlier, we had a 32-inch and a 27-inch. My 27-inch will eventually flip vertical up and down. And so I can have spreadsheets and different things like that, and I'll probably keep my 32 flat. I am gonna move the tables though. I would also think about where you're gonna put this in connection with your cords, your power, your plugs, your adapters, everything, right? So I've got a mic, a camera. This is not a professional setup. I wish it was. At some point I'll get there where everything is just connected on one arm bracket, right? The other thing that I really, really like about this is the cable cords. You can hide through everything, and those pieces, just those plastic pieces, just snap on and take off. But then also, you don't have to rearrange everything to flip the screen vertical or horizontal. You just basically turn it, and it's there, right? So one of the things that I forgot to mention, I'm going to flip this around because I want to show you just how easy this is. So we've basically got 360-degree rotation. So we can rotate a screen this way, like this. We can go all the way around 360 degrees. I'm not going to because I have a plug, right? And it just came out. We can tilt it this way, almost flat down here, like this. And then we also have this. So you've got basically three directional, where you've got tilt, X, Y, Z axis, essentially. It's probably the easiest way to explain that. So, and that's with both of the monitors and both of the stands. This guy is one that you want to save. So this is the hex screw, if you don't have one, or an Allen wrench, right? It's pretty big. I didn't get the measurements. It's probably labeled on here somewhere, but this is what's going to help you tighten your tension on both of your monitors. And when you first put your monitor on, it's probably going to sink all the way down. Both of mine did, and then I took it off and tightened it up. Overall, it's an easy install. The video took me longer because I was trying to get shots of everything. This should not take you more than 15 minutes. And if you've done anything like this before, you already kind of know in your head where everything's gonna go, all of the different pieces that you'll have there. I love the pads that they had on the bottom so you don't ruin your table if it's a wood table or a metal table, where I decided to take this bracket off and move it to the other side, or move it right in front of me like this. You don't have to worry about any of that because they got those little pads. So overall, super easy install. It did come with extra pieces, and that's one thing like I love when I'm putting stuff together. And so what we're looking at really when we put this together is it'll hold up to 28 pounds times 2. So these bracket arms will hold 28 pounds. I don't know what monitor weighs 28 pounds, but it's there. And the butterfly brackets are 75 by 75 and 100 by 100. So if you're looking to, what are the bracket? Each individual butterfly bracket had both on the same bracket. So to finish off everything, just a huge shout out to the team over at NearHub, and thank you them for collaborating with me on the MA40. The install was super easy, probably 15 minutes tops. Highly recommend this. Great value for the price, and everything is made out of just this sturdy metal, and it looks really, really good. This black kind of like shiny metal / plastic that they have on the outside. So highly recommend it for sure.